Virgo, hello and welcome to your weekly reading for September 29th through to the 6th of October. Let's dive right in. So we have the Goddess Power Oracle to give us a little bit of guidance into the week ahead. You guys have a lot of change. The moon will move through your sign. We have Mercury kind of at the time that I'm filming this, finishing up its transit in your sign to move on into your second house. So as you're turning a page within yourself, you're coming to know yourself in new ways on deeper levels, in more meaningful ways as well. We have Yuki Onna, stillness. And I sense that you guys are picking up on growth through your relationships. And this is definitely something that we know because Saturn and Neptune are in your seventh house, helping you to manifest a new way of thinking about relationships in general and manifesting that stability that you want, being yourself in the world. And maybe you've never been allowed to be yourself in the world. That's something that's coming up throughout all of the readings, is that we're moving past feelings, especially for Pisces, your opposite sign. We're moving past feelings that we weren't allowed to feel. So, you know, just watching any old Americana movies, being an American, there was a lot of standards around how you presented yourself in society. So you weren't allowed to be a freak, weird, to make, light of certain social norms. But now we're kind of not just tiptoeing, we're cannonballing into that. We just have to make sure that, we don't disrupt the inner pituitary pineal third eye with that immersion into the emotion, because there might be a lot of emotions that are kind of fleeting at this time. We have Mars in your social group, in your 11th house. So there might be people who kind of trigger emotions in your sphere of influence, but you have to be grounded in yourself. And that's where stillness is going to guide us. The Japanese goddess of winter, Yuki Onna, calls you to a practice of daily meditation and stillness to prepare you for greater productivity and results. Being open and receptive, slowing down, and allowing for time to dream activates your partnership with the universe so you can truly set your intentions in motion. Then, almost without effort, you discover the vibrational match in the world of form. Just as the life force quietly builds within a seed buried under snow, so too will the energy build in the seed of your desires before manifesting with no effort on your part. You will find how easy it is to co-create while implementing a practice of stillness and receptivity. Let others make the first move at this time as you assess and observe the world around you from the profound position of stillness and neutrality. In this way, the world becomes more intimate, yet you know to take nothing personally. When the goddess Yuki Onna comes to support you, be still. This calls in the miracles. The action now is in non-action. And I almost said the action now is in motion. Alignment message. Some days you wake up frozen, stuck and unable to move due to the effects of emotional denial and resistance to what is in front of you. Or maybe you are exhausted, spent from the emotional burden of your current situation. The winter goddess Yuki Onna has come to help you move out of and past this experience into a healthier state of stillness. When you are frozen, it's the ego that is refusing to accept life on life's terms, potentially causing you fear and depression. A particular situation or person may be causing you to see yourself as a victim. The goddess Yuki Onna reminds you that this is but a temporary moment in the millions of moments of your life. The task she has for you is to answer one question: will you trust the divine to be your active partner in co-creating? If so, slow down, let all of your troubles go, and you will see and maybe even cherish the miracles that life is offering you. So let's look at the Sacred Symbols deck for this week. The sun moves from 6 degrees Libra to 13 degrees Libra. And in your second house, you're going to be, I guess, more receptive to how you feel in your most immediate environments that you're in, like your desk at work and your desk at home and, your locker at the gym. Do these things need tidying up? Do they need more of you in them? How can you add more of you without subtracting from your material resources? And then balancing out how you allow for yourself to feel in these environments might be a major forward momentum to where you feel like you can, cherish that coffee mug that you have in your office, or get a new one and allow for that to be your mug that you put on your desk, and you have like all the tools to wash in the sink and all that. We have air. So yeah, this is freedom of thought. And also because Neptune is in your 7th house at 28 degrees this week, it moves from 28 degrees and 17 seconds to 28 degrees and 5 seconds. So that is you kind of learning about this stillness, and maybe, you know, like if some energy is coming at you, to sort of diffuse it with that stillness and maybe not react, maybe not, to just have that receptivity, that openness, and then come the end of the week, you're going to figure out where you belong within that framework. So we got a few cards. Wow. We got the 3 of Cups and the Magician. So yeah, it is about alchemizing your own emotional field when you are in public, when you're working with people, when you're at your home. If you have just you at your house, you may just have to, you know, like sage and do some energy work to clear the energy. Maybe purchase a few crystals to help you to stabilize and anchor new emotions as you have your laundry room. Maybe that's like usually the angry room, and you have to like get into a place of stillness in these places that you start having those racing thoughts, and then you start thinking worst case scenario instead of planting those seeds of stillness and receptivity. We also have the Ace of Cups. So there is either someone, something, maybe you're getting into a groove with a book club, a journaling program, something that's helping you to find and fill your cup. Find your cup means that you have space within yourself to revere all that you are and all that you have to give to the world. We have, oh wow, followed by the 3 and the Ace of Cups, we have the 9 of Cups with the High Priest. So you are connecting to the divine, you're connecting to God, and I sense that your thoughts will be on this nature, on this subject of how you can serve and increase the awareness of the projects that you have going and how you feel about them. Because what I learned is that like by being like feeling really good, or just attending to my feelings more intimately, maybe as I do like my sink and have a clean sink, having clean emotions and tending to our emotions rather than letting them kind of sit for a couple hours, get a little crusty, is going to help us to have that generative response to when emotions come up. We have plunge. Don't hold back. It's time. Go for it. Dive in. So this came up for Scorpio to really just give yourself to your creative process. But I would say dive into the stillness, because that is something that was brought in earlier in your reading. We'll get one more card from Mary Magdalene. I feel like she wants to impart a final word. Oh, I'm missing a few cards for you guys. So Mary Magdalene, then the Mana deck, because that was also speaking to me. Magdalene's gift, write your story. I can't tell you how helpful this has been. I've actually taken this advice from the card and started to physically write, because I'm writing a few projects, and when I type, I don't have the same brain-hand connection that I do when I can just freely write, and I'm not going to judge my writing, because I'm going to allow for it to just be what it is, and when it's time to edit, I'll edit it. But until then, it's just time to fill up the journals. Magdalene's gift, write your story. Weave your thoughts into form through the magic of writing. Feel the universe stream through your body, the pen, and onto paper. In this way, you are a vehicle of the source field, and your writing will resonate with and connect to other souls. Write. Mary Magdalene is thought to have written her Gospels during the life of Jeshua and her time in France. Other scholars argue that they were written in Greece during the 2nd century CE. Most agree that the Gospels of Mary Magdalene were written by the same author throughout. Her refreshing takes on the teachings with interjected wisdom of her own make for interesting reading. They were written for ordinary people in plain language, but she had a style and inquisitiveness of her own. She was a visionary and wrote of her visions for those who possessed an esoteric understanding, with the ears to hear and the eyes to see beyond those words. Some scrolls ended up in the old Languedoc region of southern France and were perhaps in the care of the Cathars and the Church of Love. The Templars managed to sequester the scrolls to 5 different locations. They hid them with the idea that the time would come when the truth could be known without fear and integrated into an evolved society that was ready to embrace the beloveds in equal partnership. Research with high-tech magnetic resonance imaging has shown that physical writing and journaling will stimulate your brain more than a tablet or a computer can. Writing by hand increases neural activity in sections of the brain, similar to meditation. Hey, that's what we got to dive into maybe journaling and writing. It's time. Journaling can serve as a calming tool for you. It's good exercise for your memory to keep track of your daily thoughts and activities. And for when you're ready, I can only speak to my process. I've had stories brewing in me for years, like literally years, maybe even like more than a decade, because I've been an avid reader since I was 2 or 3 years old. Like I could read, I knew what words were, and I could distinguish them with the alphabet. So you guys might come to find that you have more than enough inspiration and motivation. It's just about finding your cup, letting yourself take up space in your life and world, and not feeling like you have to share it with people right away. Ooh, we got Po and Ow. So Po did come up, and this is like the souls go to Po at the end of their life, and that's like the depths of our being. Pisces might be a really good reading for you guys to write, because they also got a lot of similar energy and messages. Hina, the moon goddess. So we're escaping, I think, any hard situations this week with intentional putting pen to paper. You could type it up later. You can even transcribe it with your voice later. But right now you just need to kind of focus on feeling like maybe you can join a local authors club or a local book club, and then just have that space to, you know, even if you don't know where to start, join a book club and journal about the book you're reading. It could help you. Nalu, surf the waves, ride the waves. We're going to get a little glimpse into these cards, starting with Po. Po side up. Po is the place of infinite darkness and formlessness, the source of existence. Messages from Po may appear as dreams or nightmares. Sometimes messages from Po manifest in recurring thoughts or memories, pleasant or unpleasant. At other times they may show up in the ways you express yourself. Have you been saying things you did not think you meant to say? This is where writing comes in so clutch. Have you been accident prone recently? Have you been down lately? Are you drained of energy? These may be signs, like the inverted card, that you need to pay attention to the wisdom that emerges from the darkness of Po. You cannot ignore messages from Po. They have ways of springing up, whether you want to acknowledge them or not. Nana Ike Kumu, look to the source. The source is Po. Return to the source by exploring deep darkness of unconscious. Begin your journey through the realm of Po by observing your thoughts and dreams, by asking yourself and writing down the answers, difficult questions, and by digging beyond any superficial answers or explanations you may be tempted to provide. What do you really want? Is there anything that you have been denying yourself? How do you really feel about a specific person or an activity? If you cannot answer these questions, it may be useful to start writing down your dreams, thoughts, and fantasies. Try keeping a notebook next to your bed. Before you go to sleep at night, give thanks to your higher self for helping you to remember your dreams. In this way, you may be better understanding the source of your feelings about something or someone. By exploring the darkness of Po, you may get in touch with the source of your problems as well as with their solutions. Okay, so we have Nalu. I'll read that one next. Because it's interesting. It looks like Nalu is coming out on the other side of this rainbow wave to the moon. You see the rainbow kind of attached? And this is like the dream world. This is your waking world. I sense that once you guys start writing a lot more and unrestricted writing, you're not showing it to people, you're going to surf through any perceived challenges or, you know, difficulties with a lot more ease. And you won't have that word vomit just like projecting itself. You'll have a lot more control over what you say, the safe spaces for your emotions. It'll feel a lot more balanced. Emotions, like waves, come and go on their own. When emotions are blocked, physical problems can result. Emotions are not bad or good, they just are. It's how we react and respond to them that determines whether or not we will be destroyed by their power. Like waves, if one underestimates their power, emotions can be incredibly dangerous and destructive. But also like waves, fighting emotions does little good. It's far more useful to contemplate their patterns instead. By contemplating waves, you learn how to recognize their patterns and anticipate their movement. One of the ways to avoid being swept up and tossed about uncontrollably by a wave is to dive underneath the surface and allow the wave to pass overhead. The water beneath the wave is always much calmer than the water on the surface. Another way to avoid being pummeled by a wave of emotion is to go with it. Once you are immersed in a wave, there is nothing you can do but allow it to surround and carry you. Sooner or later, its power will diminish and you will be released. When you allow your emotions to flow, it's less likely they will pummel you. Observe their patterns, stay aware of the shape they take in your life, and you will experience the exhilaration that comes with riding them safely to shore. Yeah, this feels like Mars and Cancer energy, and you having to be really intentional about giving yourself that emotional space to, find your cup and fill it before you go out into the world. Empty cup, emotionally tossed about. We don't want that for you, Virgo. So Hina is the goddess of the moon and of healing. The Hawaiian word for Hina means gray. Gray is the color offered as an alternative to black and white absolutist thinking. Gray reminds us that there are no certain answers, that the unknown is the basis of all creativity, and that we, like Hina, need to accept the unknown in order to discover and develop our full potential. This is not the time to focus on any goal or outcome. Rather, submerge yourself fully in the gray light of uncertainty and the ebb and flow of emotion. Wow. Nurturing may require that you abandon the security of constraining schedules or relationships and ride the multicolored rainbow of risk. I would even say nurturing yourself to abandon the security of a constraining deadline to get this writing done, or relationships to like a publishing house or an agent, or relationships to sharing it with a book club. You just can write it and keep it to yourself, and ride the multicolored rainbow of risking, diving into those depths of your dreams, of things that are coming to you as messages. Okay, you must be able to nurture yourself before you can nurture someone or something else. That's having that full cup, Virgo. Whether you are nurturing or being nurtured, the most important thing you can do is to allow for yourself to feel. Also, be sure to allow yourself to get in touch with your creative and intuitive nature. You may find that you need to create the time in our space which is only for you, and allow for yourself to feel, play, dance, and be. Hawaiians chant to Hina while planting, and I almost said painting, for honoring Hina assures one of new growth. Aww. Wow, Virgo, you guys are going to get close to God by writing. So thank you, Virgo, to watching this. If you guys are just watching your sun or rising message, go ahead and watch your moon. Maybe you have some planets that you're like, oh, what's going on here? Watch for the house, the rulership of the house. Thank you to my subscribers for being here. You guys mean the world to me. Go ahead and drop me a comment. Let me know how you're dealing with this energy. Share one of my videos with a friend who can use an empowering astrology message. Until next time, aloha.